Trying to find the reasons you won't find her pretty.
Hi beautifuls, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. What's up, girl? So today we are doing a full removal slash partial application. I don't really have much footage on my application, so we're really getting to the nitty gritty of my removal. Okay, let's get into this. I'm gonna try to make it as informational as possible, but I have a track record and I like to get on tangents, and sometimes that don't work out. But if you really want me to hone down and really explain it in depth, it'll have to be a longer video than this, okay? So first things first, I removed color and bulk. I have my drill at about 25 RPMs, and I am applying about 50%, maybe even 70% pressure to really remove that bulk and that color. After I got done removing the bulk and the color and the nails are looking somewhat thin, I switched to about 25, 25, maybe even 20 bit on the pressure, still keeping it at a high 25 RPM and just gliding over to remove lifted areas and just any extra excess bulk. But the reason to why I lift up on that pressure is because I don't want to cause a heat spike or cause rings of fires, because rings of fires means that you were using too much pressure, way too much pressure, girl. And not only were you applying too much pressure, but that baby was up in the sky when it came to RPMs. And you was just in there, just weed whacking. We don't want that. So the important thing about mastering the drill, not the drill, and I don't mean UK drill, okay? E-file drill. The best way to master it is to understand when you need to apply a certain amount of pressure when it comes to speed. If you're removing bulk on things, you want it at a pretty high RPM. I would not say too high. Most reels don't go past a 35 RPM. I like to keep it in that sweet spot, which is like 25 to remove, because the drill is going to do the work for you. Back in the day, back when old folks was chilling on their lawn and not TikTok dancing, yeah, they were using hand files to remove bulk. And when I tell you, the nail techs back then had arm strength of a damn wrestler, because they was in there working that, okay, with that hand file, just moving it, because drills didn't exist. The only type of drills they were like dentist drills. And trust, you don't want to use no dentist drill on your nail. So now, when the drills came out, you guys see what I mean? I get off on tangents. When drills came out, it made it a lot easier. So you have to understand that the drill is going to do the work for you. And anytime you have issues or problems when it comes to removal, it's because you're working against the drill, baby. You got to work with it, not against it, okay? With it, not against it. So, pro tip, when you're removing, keep it on a high RPM and make sure that you are applying the right amount of pressure. If it starts to feel like it's getting too hot, baby, you either overworking that one area a little too much, or you're applying too much pressure. Ease up on the pressure. Okay. And another kind of pro tip, if you are a beginner nail tech and you are not that efficient, or even a nail enthusiast, you're not that efficient when it comes to a drill, use a hand file. They did it back in the day. You will have a mean right arm or left. I'm not no left-handed hater, okay? But that baby gonna be mean. She gonna be strong. But it'll work. It'll do the job. You'll have to probably change the file every couple times, but it'll work. And let the file do the rest of the work for you. That's what I do. And that's what I did heavily back in the day, because I was scared of a drill. I used to run for my drill. Be like, oh, she's trying to get me. Anyways, I digress. Right now I am filing and shaping my nails. I don't do too much, but one thing that I do is do. Sorry about that. My husband asking questions while I'm in the middle of voice recording. Okay. So I like to, because my nails grow outward like a fan, I like to nick them in just ever so slightly so I can get that nice square shape. That's just what I do. So I also hyper focus in on my sidewalls because I have very chubby fingers. And with my chubby fingers, I get excess dead cuticles within the grooves of my sidewalls. And ultimately, they do cause lifting for me. Majority of my lifting lives in my sidewalls. What can I say? What can I say? It is what it is. So now I'm using a small football bit. Well, I don't think this is a football bit. I think they call it a flame bit. Yeah, a football one is where it comes to like a point and then it rounds out to another point. This is a flame bit because it ovals out to a point, so flame. But it's a small flame because I have tiny nail plates, nail beds, whatever the hell you want to call it, okay? Got a tiny one, so I need a tiny drill bit. So I use that flame bit to do majority of all the work. You do not need 12,000 bits to clean your cuticles. What you need is a drill at about 5 to the highest being probably 10 RPM because you are working on the natural nail. And you need a flame bit or a football bit and a good round or cylinder bit, something with a round top. That's all you need, okay? That's all you need because that flame or that football bit is gonna get underneath that eponychium and clean up all that dead cuticle. And that round cylinder bit, clock it. That round cylinder bit is gonna go in and just further push back that eponychium and remove any other dead skin. One also thing that I did not show, I just realized that I didn't add a clip of that, is I also use a sanding band to etch my natural nail. Is that the word? Yeah, and I use a 180 sanding band on, again, at a 5 to 10 RPM. I'm not using no sanding band at no 25 RPM. That's dangerous. You're playing a dangerous game. When you're working on the natural nail plate, lower RPM. 5 to 10. When I was in nail school, we were doing about 10 to 15. Either way, it's still low, okay? Don't be going high. Stay low. And now look at that. Beautiful, clean, fresh, Gorgina. Okay? And I did my left hand off camera. Don't stare too much. My right hand off camera. Don't stare too much. It is my right hand. What can I say? But now we're going to move on to my tried and true. The one that never fails me. My left hand. So I'm using the Gelish pH bond. That is a dehydrator. When it has the word, with any product has the word pH in it, that means that it is bringing your nail plate to that natural pH, which I think is about 4 to 5. Yeah. The pH balance of your nail plate, yes, your nail plate has a pH balance, is about 4 or 5. My head at first said 7, but baby girl, that's water. And you is not no pH balance of water. That poom poom may be, but you ain't. Inappropriate? Yeah, sorry. But that's pretty much what it's doing. It's bringing it to that neutral pH balance of your nail plate. And that kind of adds this perfect, adhesion variable for when you apply your primer, or in my case, a base gel. And your base gels, okay, I don't want to go too much on a tangent because base gels, hard, soft gels, that's a whole nother universe in and of its own. If you guys want me to go into detail about that stuff, let it know. And I'll be more than happy to oblige. Okay? But I do want to say one thing that I am doing with my base gel is I'm scrubbing her in. Okay? Call me a janitor because I'm getting in there. And pretty much why I scrub it in is because it's going to help with the adhesion. It's also going to ensure that I'm not using too much product. This is not a structure building gel. This is a adhesive gel. So you do not need a thick layer. A nice thin one. If you scrub that baby, makes it even better, because then she grip. When I tell you she got that gorilla grip, she got that gorilla grip. And yeah, that's what I do. Goodness, that's what I do. And yeah, just doing it to all the nails. Nothing too serious. Yeah, to me, the structure of the nail is a very beautiful thing. It is to the most important part of nailistry, nail artistry, okay? The most important part. If you do not have a good structure, you do not have a beautiful application of nails, then any nail art you put on top is subpar. It's subpar. Make sure your canvas is prepped so that whatever you do, you can truly make the art that you're creating stand out. When I talk too fast, I be running out of breath. Is that good or bad? Don't tell my doctor. Anyways. So now I am coming to an end. I'm just being a psychomaniac and just going around and making sure I clean up any gel that doesn't belong. Need some agua. And now, look at that. Gorgina. Your prep and application is kind of the most important part, because it sets you up. I shouldn't say prep and base application is kind of the most important part to me, because I feel like it sets you up for a easy builder application. So this is a brand that I got while I was in Romania. It's from, I think the sister brand is called Cupio, and then this is one of the either products release or product lines, I don't know how you want to call it, that they created, and it's called Pinx. This is a hard gel. It is a medium to about medium soft hard gel, because it does not take long for baby girl to self-level, but she is a hard gel because she is not soak offable. I had to remove it with a drill, hand file, whatever that cannot be soaked off pretty much. Like I said, base gels, it's its own little universe when it comes to nail application. If you guys want me to go into detail about this stuff, let me know. And like a mother, I will provide. Okay? So yeah. I don't really know what else to say. So I like to grab about a medium-sized bead, just pretty much what the amount of gel that you need to grab for the length of your nails. These are short, so a medium size, or maybe even like a little smaller than a medium. My pinky uses much smaller than a medium size, and I use that. I apply it on first, the little ball on, and then I take it and I push it upwards towards my cuticle area, and then I, still staying up towards the cuticle area, I move it to one side, then I move it to the other side. The most important thing is that your brush, keep the right side of the brush on the right side of the nail, and keep the left side of the brush on the left side of the nail. Work that baby all the way down. Make sure you get the tips of your nails. See how I'm going back and I'm making sure I'm getting that side wall and the tips of my nails. After you're done and it's looking pretty nice, flip that baby over, let gravity work her charm. And then flip it up. When you flip it up, keep it upwards facing you, and then work whatever you need to work, remove whatever you need to remove, and then pop her into the lamp. You're done. Quick and easy. Try it again. Slip layer, do not cure. Do not cure. After you apply that beautiful slip layer and also my slip layer, I rub her into. I let her get very much acquainted with the base gel because I almost said something very inappropriate, but yeah. Yeah, they sisters. And then I grab a bead of the right amount of product for the size of the nail. So if you have small nails, a small bead. If you have medium-sized nails, a medium-sized bead. So on and so forth. I apply the bead on. After I apply it on, I push it upward. Taking the right side of the brush, I push it to the right side of the nail. And then with the left side of the brush, I push it to the left side of the nail. And then after I've hit the corners, I work her down till I get to the free edge. And then I swipe whatever is left. I let it chill for a little bit, let it get acquainted with that slip layer. And then I go in and I fix. Use a tiny little nail art brush to really go in and move that gel to where it needs to be moved. You have a lot more precision with a short liner. And we're done. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed. And if you guys want any more detailed videos on anything, let a good sis know and I'll be more than happy to provide. I love you guys, and without further ado, please remember to create, whether it's big or small. Just the act and the art of creating is a really beautiful thing. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, check out some other videos. They're right there. Check them out. You might like it. All right, love you guys. Bye.